up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going. Yeah. Let's get back into it.
Yes.
Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, share. Go to our Clips channel, subscribe. Yeah, do that.
All that good stuff.
And we're back.
Yes, and welcome back, everyone.
Wearing the same thing we were wearing last week.
Too much to share. Such great,
So these are, for us, these are back-to-back episodes. Like we said,
yes.
We're picking up where we left off on the last episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we were talking about your experience at your retreat with your friend Deborah, with the first day you were saying Friday, you guys did the Hapé.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, you guys did the Kambo and Bufo, which is DMT, right?
Yes. But I do want to go over, like I said, there are angels in human form that come into our lives to guide us, to help us. What I realized is that we may not understand at that very moment when we meet them because of where we are on our journey in this life. If you are in the process of slowing down, becoming more mindful, becoming more conscious, being more in the moment, the more you expand yourself, things will start to make sense for you. So I had mentioned Joyce from Germany in the last podcast, and if you haven't listened to the last podcast and you skipped to this podcast, you might want to go back.
Yeah.
But Joyce from Germany, I know, is my soul sister. Like, she's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Right? She's powerful. Like, she's very loving and very, like, just strong. She's like fearless. This woman is fearless. Like, to come here from Germany knowing nobody but me.
I was sharing that with somebody. I don't know if it was one of the friends from work. But yeah, I was like, my wife's got this friend. She just fucking showed up from Germany. Like, what's up? I'm here. Like, for how long? Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. Where are you going to stay? I don't know. How are you going to get around? I don't know. She ended up having places to stay. Got a nice Toyota Tacoma truck to drive around.
Oh my goodness. Like,
but dude,
while we were in California, she was in Hollywood. Like, she was in California. She was she
was on the Walk of Fame.
Right.
Freaking singing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is a spiritual guide, and she is led by her ancestors, and whenever they speak and tell her, you know, what needs to happen, she's just like, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Goes
like,
with the flow.
So amazing. And I'm like, wow.
So, yeah.
And so meeting her, and when going to the event, meeting Deborah, again, listen to the last podcast, and then figuring out that Deborah lives 2 minutes away from us, and she's having this event at her house. And so she sends me the flyer and invites me and doesn't try to get me to attend.
Yeah. Just like, she's here, just like, in case, by the way, this is what we're doing.
Right? And so what I have learned to do, instead of saying yes to everything, I go within and I check in with me. And if I hear yes, then I say yes. And it was the same thing with India, right? Going to India, not knowing anybody, knowing some people, but not knowing like where I'm going to stay, just not really knowing much about India itself. I felt the yes, and it was, yes, I'm going. Same thing with this event. Yes, I'm going. And so what was being offered Friday night, they were offering Hapé.
Which is the tobacco that is blown up your nose. Pretty much, like you don't smoke it. It gets like it's with like a little pipe or whatever, and they blow it up your nose.
And I'll get into that more. And then sound healing that evening. It was Friday evening from 6 to 9. And so that's what took place on Friday.
Let's go, step by step so that we can kind of share the differences and the experiences with each of the different ones. So Friday you experienced Hapé.
Right.
And how was it all, like, how did you guys set it up, and what was that like?
They had set it all up. It was absolutely beautiful. First of all, I mean, you can tell they are very much experienced. Deborah is very much experienced. Now I know why I'm so attracted to her backyard.
Yeah.
Like
she's got it set up.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
And we're redoing our backyard right now for some reason.
Yes. There's a reason. Trust me. There's a reason. I know there's a reason. I definitely know there's a reason. But I didn't when I started feeling the urge to redo our backyard. Okay. So anyways, they had this beautiful setup where you walk into the backyard and her trees and the scent of the flowers, just everything beautifully set up. They have fresh flowers where the sound healing. So sound healing, you have these bowls, and I have these bowls, and they have just this beautiful calming sound.
Yeah.
Right? That really just centers you and grounds you. And they have them set up, and they have fresh flowers just all around the bowls. And they have all these instruments, like
musical
instruments. Like there's a guitar, they have the
maracas,
and then they have this other one with beads. I don't even know. I need to figure out what all these are called because I want some now. And so
they had maracas.
Yes. They had maracas.
Not like that.
And so I knew Deborah, but I didn't know those that she was bringing in order to provide these services. She had Ali and Shani from, I think Shani is from Brazil and Ali is from Mexico.
Yeah.
And so these were shamans, and they had their significant others and this beautiful baby, right? Yeah. And so, we did the sound healing, and that was more just to kind of center yourself. If you've never had sound healing, it's a beautiful experience to have. And all these, and what it does is it really helps you to get into the now. It helps you to
I could see that.
Stop thinking.
Kind of like the sound of wind chimes.
Yeah. It just helps you to kind of relax, to center, and they kind of like, guide you. And before every event, they really educated you and talked to you to help you to release, to help you just to open up, to help you to get into the moment.
Well, I mean, you also have to, they're kind of priming you, right?
Yes.
Into being into that right state of mind, right?
Because most of us are not.
Well, I was just thinking, like, what if you're like watching the news before you're about to do this thing?
Exactly.
And all you're watching is like, war in Gaza or war in Israel and Palestine and freaking Ukraine. And then let's do this thing now.
Or you just got off of work and the work that you do is very stressful. Or maybe you had a long drive because you came from the other side of town and you're just full of this stress.
Anxiety, stress, and all that. So now they're kind of getting you into a calm
right,
like centered space.
Yes. And you have all these amazing people like from different backgrounds.
Yeah. So then you guys are doing the sound healing.
Right.
And then what was the Hapé experience like?
So this wasn't the first time that I've experienced Hapé. I've experienced it elsewhere, and I also had it at my retreat.
Yeah.
But this was a different experience with these shamans.
Right.
Right. And a lot of times when you go and you do this Hapé, it's very important to know who's serving you, right? And being able to trust like who is serving you. And that is for me. Like, others will just go and do it for the medical benefits or for, it helps you to really just ground yourself. It helps you to open up consciousness.
What did you feel physically? So let's talk about the experience itself. So there's this like a tube or like a pipe. It's not, you don't smoke out of it. You just put it in your nose and they blow the tobacco into your nose. What does that feel like physically?
So the sensation, there's a slight tingling, right? Like for me, it was a slight tingling that goes up your nose that some people sneeze, some people cough. You are not to swallow, you are to put the tongue on the roof of your mouth. And when you feel like spitting the
mucus or whatever,
out, then, they have either, buckets or
cups or something to spit into,
toilet paper so that you can blow your nose. But it's just sitting.
So after that physical, like what you're feeling, what happens after? What do you feel emotionally and like what is that like?
For me, I felt a lot of energy. I felt the power of who I am. And it's more of a masculine medicine. So there's so much to learn, you guys. Like, I'm still in the process of learning, but Hapé is a masculine energy. It helps you to it helps you to connect to the warrior within. And there's times where if you are going through a very challenging time in life and there's something that you want to release, you set the intention before you go into this of whatever it is that you want to detach from, whether it is fear or anxiety, or like I said, there's something that's going on within your life that you just want to release and let go. So they blow it up one nostril, right? And that's the release. You're releasing whatever it is that you're wanting to release. And then the next nostril is, what do you want to replace that with?
Okay.
Right? So if it's
those are the intentions that you guys are.
Yeah, those are the intentions. For me, I've always gone in with, God, whatever it is that you want me to experience, bring that to me. I've always been like open like that. And so it was the same thing with this one. It's like, whatever I'm here to experience, I am open to experience. And because I am so centered, like in love, I'm very heart centered. I want it to feel that masculine. I want it to feel the warrior within me. So when I didn't have the intention of releasing anything. It was more of a receiving who I am and stepping into that. So when she did the second one, that's what I felt. I just felt this
power,
amazing power within, where my hands, like I was just like, ooh, like vibrating. It was just like an amazing, and I can feel it. Just thinking about it, I can feel it like going through your body.
Does it feel does it feel like something? I mean, that seems like a very, I don't know, powerful feeling, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about like you feel powerful.
Yes.
It seems like something that you might want to feel again. Does it feel like this rape, like, does it feel like it has like an addictive thing to it?
So when going into this, if you are running away from,
Okay.
right? Like if you are in a place, because I have looked it up and there is some, because it's tobacco.
Yeah.
So it can be addicting,
Okay.
right? For that person who is wanting the quick fix. You understand? Like someone who is not working on themselves, for someone who doesn't want to do the work.
Is that just addiction period though?
Yes. Yes, it is. There's so many things that
I
we're
don't know.
addicted to that
it's hard. It's hard
look,
to like.
there's so many things that we are addicted to.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Right. Yeah.
Some of us, it's sex. Some of us, it's gambling. Some of us, it's the love. I wouldn't consider it love, but it's the person, your partner you're with. They can be that addiction for you, where you're depending on this person to provide your joy, to provide your security.
Yeah.
To provide whatever emptiness you're feeling, your partner
fulfills that.
Yes. At least that's what you're thinking.
Right.
That is an addiction.
Okay.
Right? There are so many addictions that we use and that we're so detached from and we're so unaware.
Yeah.
Everything can be an addiction if you use it as a number, versus like when you're feeling pain, you're feeling hurt, you're feeling discomfort, instead of you going in and doing the self-reflection and questioning and going into the pain, you numb it. And you hold on to that story and continue to live your life living in this lower vibration of depression, of sadness, of anxiety, of stress, all those lower vibrations, and you live in that space versus saying, you know what? What is this? I'm ready to release this. What is this? Where did this come from? And sometimes it doesn't even, what I'm learning, it doesn't even at times matter where it comes from, because some of us can't remember our past. It's making the decision to release it, recognizing it, allowing yourself to feel it, and then giving yourself permission to release it. So when it comes to rape, for me, it is not addicting. It would not be that for me. Because I'm not running from anything. Like I'm very aware of me. And I know that it's not something that I need to have in order to make me feel whole.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you should do every day unless you're wanting to serve it. If you're wanting to be that person to serve, to provide, if you're feeling called to, then you have to know, this is what I'm learning. You have to know the medicine. You have to know what you are serving to those that you're being called to serve.
You know, like when we first started the podcast, was it this one or was it the last one? Listen to the last one just in case. But we were kind of talking about like the stigmas of the medicine, right? Mm-hmm. Like how everything is just drugs. right? Drugs are bad, all of them, you know. But when you look at the benefits, like if you search the benefits, like right now I was looking up the Hapé, and it's spelled Hape for those that want to look it up for yourselves. And I suggest that you do.
In some places it's called Hapé, and other places it's called Hapé.
Yeah, but if you search Hapé, Rape, which
I can't
sounds
remember
which
if
is
that's
the
Brazilian,
same spelling as a different
like
word.
from Brazil, like
but
in different.
Either way, if you look up Hape, it'll come up.
Okay.
But when you look at, like, if you're going to classify and just lump everything in as drugs, I mean, you look at what are the effects of these things, right? And like heroin, cocaine, meth, fentanyl, like all these other drugs, they don't really have, like, they have really bad downsides. And the upsides are not like, okay, they make you feel great for a little while, you know, but with these things, the benefits or the effects of it are very different. It's not like that, you know. And what I was looking up for Hapé is promotes mental clarity and focus. And you can tell me if you agree with these things. It says promotes mental clarity and focus.
That's higher consciousness. That's why I said
Enhances emotional balance and stability. Supports overall physical health and vitality. So those are some of the things that they say that it can help with.
Now let's go back, because I was going to talk about this first. I was the biggest chicken shit when it came to drugs. As I mentioned on the previous podcast, everything was a drug to me. Marijuana was a drug. Everything was a drug to me because of how I grew up, the brainwashing, the conditioning, witnessing family members, friends,
addicted to drugs.
Addicted to coke.
I grew up the same exact way.
Addicted to heroin. Addicted to meth. And I lumped everything up with those drugs. Everything. I didn't try marijuana until I was, what age? It was in my 40s.
Or late 30s, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, something. It was way later on in life. Way later on in life. And I remember being so judgmental. So judgmental. I was in a short relationship, found out he was doing it, and bye-bye, you're a druggie.
Yeah.
Right? Friends that were doing it, I was judging them hard.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what? When we were younger, I'm glad I stayed away from it.
That is true too. Yes.
You know, I'm glad I stayed away from it. I was supposed to experience it
the way you were supposed to experience it.
The way I was supposed to experience it. Right?
Yeah.
And so, regardless, when I received my medical card, and when I tried marijuana, I could not believe how this was considered a drug. I can see how people get addicted to it. Oh yeah. As a number, 100%. Life is hard. I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with that right now. I am going to smoke. I can totally see how someone can become dependent. That is their escape.
And I think everybody at this point knows, like, the government is what they do, right?
Right.
And it's like you classify this as a hard drug, but then I can go to the store and pick up a 40. It's the same shit. I can't deal with life.
Yeah.
So either, I mean, there's a lot of different things, right? I mean, either you get stoned or you could do it legally. I mean, now it's legal, but for the longest time it wasn't. Or you could just go to the store and give the government a little kickback and just get drunk instead.
Right.
It's all the same shit.
I'm going to share the difference because I did drink alcohol, right?
Yeah.
When I was younger.
But
Did not smoke weed at all.
I think at this point, everybody kind of knows.
Not
like
everybody. There's some people that still think the way I think.
Sadly, yeah.
Right? And talking about being in the now and being in the present moment, I was already on that journey of becoming that and doing that and practicing that. And then when I tried the marijuana, it just zoomed. It like just talking about being in the moment and really becoming more conscious and more aware of my surroundings and really getting into a deep dive in that. I had the most beautiful moments. The most beautiful moments with it.
Yeah.
With me.
You know,
I don't really touch it now.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think that a lot of times these things, there's things that we're oblivious to. We just don't know. Like we don't experience, we don't see because of everything that's happening in life. And sometimes when you do these things, like you can, like it helps. Oh shit, look at that flower. Oh, look at, you know, the little animals, the bugs, the cat, the dog. Like you just, like you said, it gets you in that moment. And the thing is that once you've had that experience, it's easier to have those experiences when you're not doing anything.
Yeah. You
can notice the flowers, the trees, the mountains, the birds, all that stuff, even when you're not doing anything, because now you're aware of it.
You realize how small you are.
Yeah.
When I walked out in the backyard and I looked up into the sky and I saw the stars.
And then also thinking about, we all know this, so we need to kind of get back into what we were talking about. But yeah, just knowing, everybody knows, like if you get stoned, like you're, like you said, you're looking up into the sky, you're looking at animals and all that kind of stuff. There is no, I want to fucking fight.
Right. Right.
There is no, let's go beat these motherfuckers up.
Right. Or
this motherfucker's looking at me crazy, I'm going to slap him.
Right.
There is none of that when you're stoned. It's like, oh, I love you. I want to give you a hug. Right?
Yeah.
But yet alcohol is legal and kills how many people? You know, so like I've mentioned, these are all stories that people have made up and games that we fucking play.
Right.
So back to your retreat. On the second day, what was the event like on the second day?
So on the second,
or is there anything else that you want to mention before we move on to the second day about Hapé?
This is what I would say about if you end up going to a retreat or whatever, you're with someone that you trust, someone that you're connected with, or you're at a retreat, that means that it may be time for you to try to experience what that is.
And do your research beforehand. Don't just like, if you don't know, look it up. I mean, that's just my personality. I'm not just going to fucking...
If you want. If you feel called to. And we're very different when it comes to this. I have always done things.
Well, the other thing...
Very spontaneous.
You went to a friend's house, right?
No, India was very... If I would have looked up India and the things that people went through, I may have not went alone.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, this is such a different thing that if you're being introduced to it, it's probably not 100%, but it's probably in a similar setting to what you experienced. Maybe not exactly, but you're probably in some type of retreat setting with people that are into consciousness and all these things. You're not going to a fucking trap house like if you were, you know, picking up some other types of drugs.
Yeah. You know,
so it makes it a little different.
And don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Your journey is your journey. If you feel it's a yes for you, like your higher self, your spirit, your whatever, God's like, yes, then it's a yes, right? And sometimes you have to have that discernment, which I'm learning, because on the second day, okay, I never heard of Kambo, first of all. I didn't know what it was. And of course, I have my hubby here who does like to look up stuff. And he's like, I think you might want to look right up away. Stuff, right? And so at first, I'm like, okay, well, you know, I trust Deborah, you know, and it's funny because I haven't known her, but I know her, right? When you have those relationships, like I know her. It's kind of like with Joyce, you know, coming into my home and, you know, she stayed with us for a week and it's like, I don't like know her, but I know her kind of deal. I have that with Deborah. And so because I trust Deborah, the shamans that she's bringing in from, you know, from Mexico, I trust them because I trust her. But I still am going to go within me
and make sure that it's right
and
for
make
you.
sure that it's right for me.
Yeah.
But before that, the second day it was yoga, light yoga, sound healing, and then it was the Kambo, right? So I went Miguel's route and I started looking up Kambo. And looking it up, there's a lot of shit on there. There's a lot of shit on YouTube, right? And you kind of get the views of people that are just out in the middle of the Amazon and they want to try it. And so they decide to go try it. Like there's no spiritual, there's no like sound healing, there's no yoga. I'm just going to blow this stuff up your nose, not tell you anything, not tell you how to receive it, not telling you anything. You're just going to experience it full blown.
So
and there's the one that I'm thinking, there's two men and these men are very dramatic. Like, well, they look like they're having a very hard time. Like one is just purging and purging and his face gets so
we got to share
swollen.
What this is.
Okay, go ahead.
Before we get into that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. You can find us everywhere at Opposites Attract. If you just search Opposites Attract Podcast in the search bar, or you look us up at Opposite Pod on everything. The best way that you can support the show is to click on the support the show link on our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. That'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link will help us out. We get a little kickback. And another way you can support the show is?
You can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod and purchase us a virtual drink. And you can also subscribe to that on a monthly basis as well.
All right. Back to the experiences.
Yes.
So when you were going over there, I started researching some stuff and I sent you that video, but this is when you were just explaining, I don't know, maybe you might have to go back and watch this.
Okay.
Because it seems like there's something there. I'm just saying.
With what?
With what you were, like the way these guys were doing it.
Okay.
Like, that's not the way you do it.
No, it was just very spontaneous.
You know, like, and all these things have an effect.
Yeah.
Just like you were talking about, like you do some research and they tell you that you have to drink all this water because part of this. So what Kambo is the secretion of a frog, right?
Yes.
And I don't know exactly how they do it, but they put it on these little sticks, and the way they administer it to you is you can show off. You can show off your.
This was real stuff. They
branding.
didn't have sticks, love. They had the actual secretion. They cut it up.
Okay,
it
great.
was from Brazil. They told us how they got it,
got
how they were gentle
somewhere.
with the frogs.
Yes, that's
like
awesome.
all of that, because it's not always that way.
I get it. No, I'm sure. I'm sure some people just get it. Like you got your
I
branding.
got some tattoos.
You got your branding you got 2 dots on one arm. You got 1 dot on the other arm. And so what they have to do is they put it on the sticks, the secretion from the frog, and then they burn a little spot on your arm, a few spots. So they did 2 spots on one arm. And
I got 3
on
dots.
the shoulder, and then 1 on the other. And then they put the secretion from the frog on the burns. Right. And that's how your body takes it in. And so when you were talking about this stuff, I started researching it.
And I sent you the video first. I sent
you
a really good video. The first video I watched was really informative.
You sent me a video of it was a podcast. These like 2 people talking, and there's like, these are benefits and this and that.
Yes.
And then the video, I start looking up stuff, and I find 2 dudes like laying in the dirt in Brazil somewhere.
That's Miguel style.
Fucking face down, like, that's what I'm looking up. But one thing that this video made me realize is just, it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, people are putting a fucking twist on everything. I mean, I tell you, like in martial arts, motherfuckers want to give you the secret fucking no touch, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting their spin on it. The way, like when you were explaining it, we're making it seem like, that's not how you do it. And I'm like,
that's not what I meant.
Like, I'm just saying what you were giving off, and you can go back and watch it because the way you did it with the flowers on the floor and the sound healing in the bowls, getting you into your fucking shit and this and that. These guys fucking sit out. And, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then all of us like, come here, and they fucking burn your ass. And I go fucking have fun. Run down to the water. And then they're just face down like, oh shit, nobody told me nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
that's not a bad way to do it.
Seems like the more natural. And to be honest, like, I haven't had any of these experiences.
Yeah.
And do you know what my thought is?
Yeah.
If I have these experiences, I don't want to do it the way they do it.
Yeah.
Just give me the shit and let me have my experience.
Right. And you know what? Hold on. So
because when we were looking this thing up in the video that you were watching, they were talking about like how you have to drink all this water, gallons and gallons of water.
That wasn't my video.
Or not gallons and gallons, but
he said you didn't have to.
You didn't have to, but it did come up.
But a lot of people they're spiritual. Those that have spiritual retreats have you drink a lot of water. And,
that is a thing that comes up on the internet where he was talking about. I don't know if he did say in the one that you sent me like that you have to drink any water at all.
He didn't.
But a lot of the videos that you watch, they say that you have to drink all this water so that you can purge. Right. And then they want to inspect your purge and see like these colors mean something or whatever. And I'm not convinced that people really know what the fuck the colors mean, that they're not just making shit up. Right. And then when we watch this other video, these guys didn't drink a sip of water. They fucking burned them and sent them on their way. Right. And it's like, okay, so do you need the water? Yeah. Do we need the sound bowls? Do we need all of this stuff or not? Because it seems, and that's what's hard to discern, to decipher. It's like, what is what?
So let me share this with you. So,
and for me, I don't want extra shit.
Yeah.
I want it the way it is.
So
I want the truth.
And the truth is within you, right? The truth is within you. So I did not drink a whole lot of water, right? I drank like 2 of my...
That's a lot of water, babe. That's like 3 liters.
Okay.
Do you have your water bottle here? It's like a 1 liter bottle. You drank 2 of those. That's a lot of water.
Like 2 of these.
No,
right?
It's bigger than that.
But I was also fasting. Okay. So I even asked her, like, do you have to drink a lot of water? And what she was saying is that it helps to detox your stomach. What's the medical?
The bile or whatever. I don't know. They love bile.
No. It's whatever toxins are within your geotract. Is that how you say it? In your GI tract? Or whatever? So, okay, that makes sense, to me. Look up the benefits of it so we can share.
Yeah, I had it pulled up.
So the reason why I mentioned that with the guys, because guys are wusses. Guys, that's why us women give birth. Because men just don't deal well with certain things, And so when I saw these two men and how they were like, looked like they were going to die, right? Maybe they were just being over dramatic. So when I went into this thing.
You can't say that.
That's just, excuse me, those are with my lenses. But that's my perception.
Yeah, but I'm
sharing my perception.
But you can't say that because I think one of the dudes that we watched, I think he got like 4 dots. He got 2 on one arm, 2 on the other arm. They were also in a fucking hut in Brazil.
Right.
Like,
what does that matter whether you're in a hut or a retreat? It's the same feeling. It's the same. You get the same responses.
You think, but you don't know what you got. Exactly. You are not.
I wasn't by myself.
I understand.
There was a group
I get
of
it,
women.
but you don't know if what you got was the same shit that they got. You don't know if the shit that they got was way stronger
like what it was mixed with
than the shit that you got.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know.
Yeah, true that. But so when I went in, first of all, when I went in, because I had not met these shamans yet, I hadn't met Ali or Shani. And so for me, in order to be free and to trust, I have to trust who is serving me, right? And so, and it's very important that you do that you feel good with those that, for me anyways, for me, not for you. You could just go somewhere and get it done and be good, right? At least with Kambo. So I was very nervous about this. My palms were sweating, but I trusted them.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. I can tell, I can hear when they were explaining what Kambo is, you know, how the stuff is removed from the frog, the way the frog is treated, just all of that, right? It was pure. Yeah. And I was watching her as she was cutting it. It was the real deal, right? And so we were the second. They were doing 2 at a time. And we were the second ones on board. And so I'm like, well, you know, they came over, you know, had a little stick, a candle, and, you know,
they burned your arm,
and
they put the stuff on.
They put the stuff on, and it was immediately.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, once that 3rd dot was on, immediately I started to feel like purging.
Really?
Like just, oh yeah. Yeah. I felt it took, well, actually, I felt a lot of tingling.
Where?
Right? In my hands. It was like almost like with breath work. When you're hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And your hands like start to kind of like cramp up
clammy?
a bit. Yeah. Or no, they like cramp up. Yeah. I felt a lot of just like this vibrating like in my hands. I didn't get hot. A lot of people get hot. I didn't feel hot. I didn't feel like my head was about to burst. I didn't feel any of that. I just felt a tingling sensation within my hands. And so I felt my stomach starting to turn. And I remember they had us on all 4, kind of like rocking, just because then it's easier to purge, right? Versus if you're like, it's just sitting back.
Yeah.
And I was very just listening to my body. So there was one point where I just got on my knees and I was like just sitting up. And this is not a medicine that you do. It's a masculine. So it's not one where you're like centering, trying to connect with your higher self or God. It's not that. You want to be fully like aware, eyes open, and just allowing your body to do what it needs to do. And so
it's not something that makes you like hallucinate or feel stoned or anything like that. It is not
a spiritual experience. Well, for me, it was not. It can be for others. If your intention is, I am sick of feeling this fear and I'm going to purge it out. I didn't go in like that. And there were others. There was a woman next to me that was that. Like, she's like, there are some things that I need to let go. There are some things that I need to release. And that's why she was doing Kambo. For me, because I looked up the medical benefits to it, the clarity, just all the medical benefits, which Miguel will go over. I was more focused on the medical benefits and how this is going to help me to reset my body, right? And so that's what I was focusing on. So I was just allowing my body, like connecting to my body and allowing it to feel whatever it needed to feel, meaning like the tingleness, the whatever, just giving into the sensations that my body was feeling. And so when I started to feel my stomach turn, I remember I got up on my knees and just like stood up and looked into the sky. And then that's when I felt like I needed to purge. And so I just bent over and just allowed it to release. And those that were having a difficult time purging, some of them, like for me, they did, because I didn't have to purge like a whole lot. They blew tobacco smoke like into my face. And once she did that, I was like, oh, it's coming. Because you don't want to sit with having the feeling of purging. You know, a lot of times when you feel like you have to purge, you kind of hold it in because you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't like that feeling. That's what you have to surrender to. There you go.
Just letting it go.
You have to just let that go. You need to let that come out, because if you sit with that, that's not going to feel good. You want to surrender and just allow yourself to release and to purge. And I'm like, I don't care who's around me. I'm just going with, with whatever needs to be done, whatever has to happen is going to happen, because I surrender. Like I am surrendering.
Just let it happen.
And so, and then afterwards, everyone's different, but I didn't feel tired. A lot of people felt tired.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing in the videos too.
Yeah.
Like they were tired that day.
I felt grounded. I didn't feel bad. I felt like, okay, it's time for you to hold space for everyone else. And so I sat up and I just held space. And what I mean by holding space is like just kind of like praying, just in prayer mode, and allowing everyone to experience what they are here to experience, just holding that space for them. And that's what I did. I sat up and I was just kind of like praying for everyone there and holding space for everyone that was there.
Yeah. So what you were saying, Kambo is also not like something that makes you hallucinate or anything like that.
No,
either.
none of that.
And some of the benefits that I found online, and definitely make sure you guys go and do your own research. Like all these things that I'm mentioning are with a fucking asterisk, right? Like I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading this shit off of Google. So definitely make sure if you're interested or thinking about doing any of these things that you look it up for yourself and make sure that it's right for you. But from some random ass website that I found online called planetkambo.com. So it says some of the benefits are improved mood and reduced anxiety, pain relief, anti-cancer properties, treatment of addiction, lowered blood pressure, heart protective properties, and antimicrobial properties. And one of the other things that I saw was it says it purifies the physical body of toxic substances, as well as purify the mind and spirit of negative energy. Now, there is something that I have heard in the past from, like, you guys know me. I like my information from people with lab coats. I'm just kidding. But
no, you're not.
No, I do get a lot of my information from fucking people with lab coats. Mm-hmm. But I do listen to what other people have to say. And I also understand that there's a lot of things that people haven't studied. And this is something that I have a feeling that has some benefits, that does some things, but we just really don't know exactly. Mm-hmm. Like we have a good idea that it's probably not bad for you, kind of like some of these other substances that people do.
Right.
It seems like it has positive benefits. But when you tell me that, like, there is something about spiritual people.
You're married to one.
I know.
Why do you say it like that?
And toxins. Spiritual people love getting rid of toxins. Mm-hmm. Somehow or another. It's like, I need to get these toxins out. what the hell does that even mean? Like, I'm telling you, people in lab coats are not really sure what people talk about when they are talking about toxins. And it's
Do you mean limited beliefs?
what are you talking about?
Toxins?
No, I'm talking about science. Like when people are talking about like, oh, let's purge all this out. And then we look at the bio. Oh, these are the toxins. Like what are you even like, what specifically are you talking about?
Well,
when you
we
say
do
release, yes, I get it.
A lot of food that is.
Yeah. But people like to tell you that they know what these things do and what these things are. Like what I know that you are releasing this that's making you do that. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Because nobody has actually studied this stuff. It's like you have a feeling that it might be doing this stuff. But until you actually study it and test it, I'm going to have my doubts.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes, like when you start throwing around words like toxins, it's like, all right, well, what is that really? You know, but anyway.
Yeah.
And
with you, it's kind of like when we go to church, we eat the chicken and leave the bones. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like you look at the benefits of what it does and then experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's not what they say it is. I'm just saying that it can't be verified.
Yeah. And, you know, it is, when it comes to releasing trauma, limited beliefs and all of that, some of us it makes it, I like the experience.
Yeah.
You know, like I like the experience. I love the sound healing. I love how it grounds me. I love how it centers me. I love how it calms me.
Now,
and it teaches me to be that without the sound healing. Do you understand? It's teaching me or conditioning me to be that without the that I am that. I just got to retrain my body to be that.
I could totally agree with that. But I'm just saying when people are specifically telling you, oh, it does this and it does this and it does, and it's great for this. It's like, how about we study it a little bit and get some hard. I'm not saying that it doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
I'm saying we don't really know because it's just random ass people like, oh, this makes me feel great. Oh, my knee stopped hurting. It's great for joints. You know, it's like, is it really though?
Yeah. And Ali and Shani, and I don't remember their partners' names. They have been working with this for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I think it is very important, I feel, when you're administering these things to trust the person that is serving you.
Yeah.
Because you have to feel comfortable. You know, like towards the end, they're like, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting us.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. The how long did the effects of the Bufo last? I mean, not the Bufo, the Kambo.
Not very long. Well, like the purging and all that was, I don't know. For me, it's very hard to tell time.
Yeah.
But it was very short. It wasn't long. And I got to witness everyone else after me as well. Some took a little longer.
Yeah.
Right? Than others, but it was not, it did. Yeah. For me, it felt like maybe 10 minutes, and then maybe that. Maybe it was probably less, but that's how it felt.
And then after you were done purging and all that, like, were you kind of like back to normal?
Oh my gosh. I was good. I was like, all right, let's help others. That's why I said, let's help others. So I was holding space for those that have not yet had the experience. So for me, it was good. Others were just laid out, like just laying down and enjoying the weather, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the energy that I had. And well, we'll get into.
Yeah, and everybody's. I'm guessing like people's
Everyone's
experiences are different.
Yeah.
And in the videos,
We should get them on the podcast.
In the videos that we were watching, it seemed like on a couple videos, people were talking about how after the day after you do Kambo, like, and for the next couple days, like you feel amazing. How do you feel today, a day after? Do you feel that? Do you feel?
Oh, I feel that. I feel that and much more. I feel the clarity. I feel very connected. To me, I am. Like you said before you started the podcast, I was crying, and you're like, "What?" And it was just gratitude and love and joy, and I am that. It's more of that. It's more of that. It's the clarity is so like I'm just looking around the office, and it's just so on point. Like the clarity, it's. You know how they say it's superhuman? The first video was like, oh, you feel like you're superhuman. No, you're feeling human.
You see,
you're feeling the way you're supposed to feel before all the, the toxins that you receive from the food. You're not, all the shit that we put on our body, the lotions that have all the chemicals. It's the food that we eat with all the chemicals. It's the pollution. It's all of that affects us from feeling the way we're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why people are now, I can see why people eat all organic food.
Or what they think is all organic.
Right. They try their best.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's all we could do is try our best. Looking what's in the lotion that you're putting into your skin, that your skin is absorbing. Look into that. It's all of that because it does change our chemistry within our body and within our mind. Like,
yeah, it all has an
effect.
It
all plays. Yes.
Yeah.
It all plays.
So later on in the retreat, you got the chance to experience something else. Another frog.
Which was not on the flyer. Which I think we stumbled upon a video at one point when I was looking into ayahuasca. A couple years back before India, I was thinking of dabbling into that. We came across a video because when I went to look it up after I did it, I came across a video, and I remember you and I watching this video together. But it had been so long that I didn't really know what Bufo was. But what intrigued me, and it was just during like a quick conversation, everyone had left, but of course I am there talking with the shamans and Deborah and just thanking her and being with them. And they had mentioned the Bufo. And so I had talked to Ali about it and to Deborah, and they said it's more of a spiritual experience. And as soon as they said that, I felt yes, because I have been wanting to experience me on a higher level. Because I've experienced me on a higher level when I was in India, when I had that spiritual awakening. I experienced me at a very higher level, even a higher level than what this Bufo took me to. I experienced that without any drugs or medicine. Sorry, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
So when she said that it's a spiritual medicine, I said immediately I felt a yes. Like I want to experience this. And I don't know quite what it is, but I know it's a yes, and I trust you.
Yeah.
And so I got to witness Deborah first. And watching Deborah, and I know that she's more experienced in this. So I know that she was given a higher dose. But just sitting back, witnessing her and what she was going through, like her different transitions and her body and just everything, right? Because you are completely not aware of you, right? Like you're not aware. It's not like Hapé where you know you're sitting down, you can feel your body, you know you're there, your conscience.
Right.
Right? Bufo, you are not conscious. Like meaning like you don't know, it's like
you're gone from
you
your
are
body.
not your body. Right.
Yeah. So this is also the secretion of a frog.
Yes. And it's the frogs that we have, the ones that we try to keep away from our dogs. What are the name of those frogs? We have them here.
Toads? I don't know.
I don't know. Everywhere.
But yeah, it's Bufo is a toad. And this, instead of like,
you'll find them in your backyard by your pole trying to.
You will?
Dog.
Here?
Yeah. They're
Holy
huge
shit.
here. She
People
told
are
us
gonna
that.
Be fucking licking frogs and shit out here. I guess I was just reading. That's one of the ways people do it. I guess you fucking lick them out there fucking licking frogs.
You're going to catch me outside licking a frog near the pool.
Sonja's going to be behind the shed. I'll be like, what are you doing? Fucking head down behind the shed trying to catch a frog.
Heck no.
Oh, shit. But, and this is, you take the secretion and this one you smoke.
Yes.
And how fast does it take?
So it's so funny because witnessing Deborah, like her first hit when she first took it, I can tell like she just got very relaxed. And then Ollie gave her the straw and she could barely even take the second hit, right? Like you could tell she was
gone
flying.
Already. Yeah.
And then she just laid back because they had a very beautiful setting for us. We were outside and we had the most perfect weather.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, perfect. And the birds, and it was absolutely amazing. So she lays back and she's just in her own zone. Like she's hugging herself. She'll sit up for a moment and then sit back down. And so I got to witness it before I tried it. There was only 3 of us. It was just Deborah, me, and Kat. And so I knew I was going second. I'm like, I'm going second. Right. And it took a while. Like the medicine only works for maybe 10 minutes, but the after effect of like what just happened,
what you call
like what just happened and realizing all the realizations, the awareness, everything now just totally makes 100% sense. And so I don't know what her experience was because she didn't share it with me, because she wanted me to have my own experience, because my experience is not going to be your experience. It is where you are in your life at that moment.
Yeah.
Everyone's
all the
experiences
accumulations of your life
is going to be different. And when you try Bufo, you have to know who is serving you. You do not want to go to someone that you just met in the Amazon. You do not want to do that because you are not aware of your body, right? So you definitely want to look up Bufo and have a referral from a friend, someone you trust who has experienced it with that shaman, right? Okay. It's very important that you do that because you are not aware of where you're at or anything. Yes, and so.
Well, you were sharing that.
I watched a video.
In some cases, like because you're out of your body, if you're doing it in some place where people are not trustworthy, they could take advantage of you.
Exactly.
While you're out of it.
Oh, yeah. And you would not have a clue.
Yeah.
You would not know. So when it was my turn, I am a prayer. I pray. So she did this with all of us. You get the medicine, set your intention. My intention was to meet Jesus, by the way. I wanted to meet my man, like Jesus. I wanted to meet Jesus. And I think I would have if she would have given me more. But because it was my first time, I didn't get to. I don't know, though. Again, I don't know. Okay? I don't know.
It's funny.
I don't know what would have happened.
You said you wanted to, when you came home yesterday, you said you wanted to meet Jesus.
Yes.
And?
Instead, Jesus introduced me to me. Because I am. And I know that. But it would be a really cool experience.
And I told you.
Yeah.
I think. That's probably who Jesus wanted you to meet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And if you get a higher dose, I have a feeling that doesn't change.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is that. It is that. Right? Like it is that. I'm okay with that.
So
let's get back.
Yeah. So this one, you're like gone from your body. So were you hallucinating?
So let me share first. So I have the medicine, and I'm praying, and my intention is to actually, it's like God. First it was like, I want to meet you. Like I want to meet you.
Show yourself.
And share with me what you want to share with me. Share. I didn't remember this yesterday. Share with me what you want me to know. Share with me what you want me to know. Right? Like I'm just open to receive. So I'm ready. She puts the straw in my mouth. She says to take it in very slowly. Right? And then it's kind of like when, if you're smoking a joint, right? Some people do that. They'll go, I don't do that, but some people go and then take it in. And so that's how she told me to do it. And to take it slow. And then, once, then you inhale it and hold it. And then she tells me when to release it. And through that first inhale, I did it the way she told me to do it. And then after that, I knew how to do it. Like my body, like I was so connected to me that I was talking to me. It was
how long between the first and the second? Do you know?
Immediate. Like once you exhale, once you release, she puts the straw in your mouth again and you take it in again.
Between the first and the second, were you already feeling it? Were you already
the first
in it?
one? Oh yeah.
How fast?
That's how I knew.
It's
immediate.
Okay.
Like that's how I already knew. I didn't need her to tell me. I already knew because I was one with my body. Okay. I was, but I was still hearing her. I could still hear her. Like, here's the straw. Like I heard that. And then after that, my body, like I was so connected to me that I knew how to take this in. It's like I was being guided by God, me, right? Just taking it in slow. And my body was just like, and I remember just laying back and feeling one with the earth. And feeling so connected to the earth.
You're getting emotional thinking about it.
And I remember her telling me to open your eyes because my eyes were closed for a bit and I was just feeling the sensation of me and the earth beneath me. And then I don't know if I sat up, but I opened my eyes. And I saw the sky. And I was one with the sky. I was one with the clouds. I was just one with earth. And then I felt like a touch And I looked over, and I believe that it was Ollie that I first saw. And I saw this beautiful, amazing warrior, strong, beautiful. And she is what I've been looking for.
You're talking about yourself.
Yes. I am her and she is me, and we are one with the earth, with everything. And that's what matters. That's all that matters. And we are all here to teach, to remind each other of who we are. And when I saw her, I saw my sister, Lorraine. And I saw you. And you are a reminder of the warrior that lives within me. And I knew that she knew who I was. Though we had just met, I knew that she saw me. Like, this is my sister. And I know you, and I've known you for a very long time. And we are here to help other people wake up, to help other people experience what life is.
Yeah.
That's what the purpose is for us to teach each other, to remind each other of who we are. And the people that you resist are those that are here to teach you your biggest lessons. You have been one of my biggest lessons. My sister Lorraine, who I avoid, is here to teach me one of my biggest lessons, to remind me who I am. And I am here to remind her who she is. Because there's a balance in life. Everything is a balance. It's that yin yang. Like, as much as you love, you have to have the strength and the courage to step into the unknown, to surpass that challenge, to get over that challenge in order to feel what unconditional love is. So I see this beautiful, and I'm going through this. And then I hear this beautiful singing. And I look to my left, and there is Shawnee. Oh my. I see Shawnee, and I see me. I see pure love. This beauty that's radiating. And it just so happens she has my hair. Like curly hair. And I remember just reaching out to her and touching her on her face. And it's me. And I see her, and she's singing, and her eyes are closed. And she's singing, and she's saying to trust you.
Yourself.
It's me seeing me. And all the beauty within me. And I just remember bending over and crying in her lap, which was me.
That reminds me of something. It's almost like that. The grace, the empathy. It's like, again, these are all just reminders of like when you see somebody else, the grace and the empathy that you could have for somebody else.
Yes.
and you see everything that makes them who they are, the struggles that they go through, and you have that love, the empathy, the compassion for that person.
Yes.
But we don't see that same exact person in ourselves.
Yes. That's why you hear me say we are all mirrors of each other.
Right.
That's what I mean by that.
And you were telling me today, because like I said, I haven't had any experience with any of these things. And there's this thing about me that, you know, obviously you guys know I like martial arts, and there's just this connection with life for me. And I think if you understand martial arts the way I do, or if you see it the way I see it, it's not just fighting. And there is like a spiritual side to it.
Mm-hmm. It's because you are a warrior.
And yeah, you say that. And
you are that.
Yeah. But to be that is so hard. To consistently be that is so hard. And maintaining that. And you were telling me that if I was to have, because I have had moments where I feel that. Mm-hmm. One of those that comes to me is when I hurt my shoulder. And I was kind of going through that rehab process. And I was jumping in the sauna and then jumping in the pool. And it is those, I got to share this video with you, and I'll share it with you guys too. It was a video about martial arts and about visualization and about, like, if you're an Olympic, the video that I was watching was with this Olympic wrestler, this genius jiu-jitsu guy and an Olympic wrestler. I think he might have medaled from the United States. Ben Askren and John Danaher were talking. And it was like how they say fighting is 90% mental. And it's like, well, if fighting is 90% mental and Ben is an Olympic athlete and people are like, hey, Ben, we're training. Where are you at? He's like, I'm not training. I'm meditating. I'm visualizing. Like the first day, people might be like, okay, I guess Ben's going to fucking meditate and visualize. But then the next day when you call Ben, like, Ben, we're training. Where are you at? I'm meditating and visualizing. But there's something about the combination of doing and visualizing
and
being, because you can visualize all you want. When you show up, you're going to get smoked.
Right. That's the self-mastery.
And during training, during all these things, like I was saying, when I was rehabbing and I was jumping in the pool's freaking freezing. And you have to get your mind right to deal with the cold, to get in there. And that was what I was thinking. I am a warrior. I am a samurai. I am a martial artist. I am a jiu-jitsu fighter. I am a competitor. Like, I was saying these things while I'm breathing and freezing, and I could feel it. Like I told you, I could see myself sitting on like a fucking grassy hill with a fucking sword and just like thinking about destroying all my opponents. And also like the wind and being in the moment, like just like real samurai shit.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that always. And you were saying that if I was to do this, like it would make it like.
I can't even say that though.
You know, but what is it that makes you feel that way? Like it would do that. What is it about this thing that is that way? Did you have that? So not exactly like for me, it would be different because I am me and you are you.
Right.
And maybe for me, it would solidify that for me because that is part of my identity. And for you, it's solidified parts of your identity. Is that what it does?
I believe it will show you truth. I've known this.
Yeah.
That I am a warrior. You remind me of that when I start to doubt myself. And you had to show me when my LLC was opened and how I had a retreat a few months after.
You got clients after that.
I am that. But there's times where we need to be reminded because we are human.
Yeah.
So we have to be reminded.
And these things can help.
Yes. And to strengthen the part of us that needs to be strengthened or needs to be revealed in order for us to connect to our higher self, to see things more clearly, to see things for what they are, and to see us for who we are. You know, with every one of them, Ali, I saw the warrior. It got me to appreciate my sister more. It got me to understand why there's times where I rather not do a retreat with you because I connect more with you, Shani, love, because I am love. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's easy to connect to because it's home for me.
Right.
But I actually need to connect to Ali, a warrior, to have that balance.
You don't need more of you.
Right. And it's funny because when I did
You need the
rape,
opposite.
yes. That's why you and I, like, okay, we'll get into that a little later. So
on the next episode, we'll get into that.
We're already out of time.
Dude,
Anyways,
we're almost an hour and a half in already.
So when I saw, Shani, I saw me. And when I saw Deborah was the connector. She is that. She is the igniter. She's the connector. And she just sits back and allows. She knows. She knew what I needed. She knew what was going to open the next door for me. She did not tell me. Yeah. That's the thing. I want to be told. That's why Steve Hardison said, trust yourself. Your journey is your journey.
And that's what...
When it's time, the door will open. It's time. And Deborah opened that door for me. Joyce, also, she is all three of them. Joyce is that warrior. Joyce is me. And she's that connector. Joyce is already living that. She's very connected. She understands and she lives and she does. She bees. She's all being and she's a doer. She knows exactly where she needs to be.
That's awesome.
And that's where I'm headed. And that's where we are all headed there. But you must slow down in order to wake up. You must be and do.
Yep. So with Bufo.
Oh, but with you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, because I was going to share some.
Go ahead.
Because I'm wrapping it up.
So when I came home and I saw you, like I couldn't wait to come home to you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to come home to the children, our beautiful little souls that we've created. But you, like I have so much gratitude and appreciation for you. I know that we are here on this journey together to open the doors that need to be opened so that we can fly together.
Through space.
Yes. There's hour 777.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
I love you, babe.
I love you too.
So with Bufo, it says that it can last anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes for the effects to for the full effects to wear off. However, for some, the effects are longer lasting, like a sustained enhancement of satisfaction with life that also eases the effects of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So, yeah, I mean, these are not your common things that you typically hear about. And a lot of times the things that we're unaware of or ignorant of, don't have the information, just don't know, they scare us.
Yes, I was that.
And I'm sure a lot of you have felt that way over the years. I know I have. I mean, like you were talking about, I've cut off relationships with friends that smoked weed just because like I thought that shit was like pretty soon they're going to be on the street smoking crack.
Yeah.
And I can't be a part of that.
Yeah.
So we're done. And then you get older and it's like, well, I guess these, like I said, these are all, a lot of times it's things, the way that our mind is shaped, the way we have been conditioned to think and brainwashed and all this other stuff.
You are living through me.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're getting to witness the change.
Yeah.
And by me sharing my experiences and you seeing the transition.
Yeah. So yeah, for you guys out there, if you guys have had similar experiences like this, or if you guys want to share your experiences with us, maybe in the past you've, had that stigma towards, other medicines, drugs, substances, whatever you want to call it. If you guys want to give us a call, 480-331-9846. If you guys have any other questions about something that maybe we didn't get into or we didn't mention, if you have any questions about Sonja's experience with any of these things, you guys can give us a call. You can leave us a message. You can be anonymous. You can send us a text and we can read the question on the podcast and we can answer it here. So yeah, like I said before, you guys can go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com, and you guys can support us there. You can follow us there. And the best thing you can do is share this with somebody else.
Before we get out of here, I want to thank you for being such a supportive husband.
Of course,
You've
man.
always been so supportive of me and all my medicines that I'm starting to experience.
Oh, God. Yeah, I told Sonja I'm going to get her a t-shirt that says I do drugs.
It's not drugs.
And that is the stigma again, But anyway.
And don't retreat. We have 3 spots available. It's May 17th through the 19th. Pine Top, Arizona. We're going to be doing some kayaking, paddleboarding, doing a lot of inner child work, a lot of play, a lot of activities that are going to help you to wake up.
Yep. There's a few spots left. And if you guys are interested in going to that retreat, you can give Sonja a call at 602-633-5658, or you can email her at healinghearts@sonjaramirez.com. And also you do gifting sessions and you have spots available for clients.
Yes. So if you would like to experience one of my coaching sessions, I welcome you. You can call that same number, or you can also go to healinghearts@sonjaramirez.com.
And you have nothing to lose. This is your first session, the gifting session that Sonja does. And even if you want to hire Sonja as a coach, you guys have to kind of make sure that it's right for both of you. So that's why, like, the first session, you guys kind of sit down and get to know each other and find out what is it that you want to get out of the coaching and see if Sonja is even the right fit for you. And if she is, then you guys can kind of move on to the next step and figure out, what she can do.
Yes.
And she can definitely help because we've had some clients and, there's been some life-changing results.
Yes.
So definitely make sure you guys go to our website, get a hold of Sonja however you can.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.